You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Celebrity Apprentice After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Celebrity Apprentice After Show.
That's right, the premiere episode of
Another
season of Celebrity Apprentice on NBC, and it was a good one. AfterBuzzTV.com, we are recapping the show. Definitely showing love to everybody on iTunes and AfterBuzzTV.com and our YouTube page as well. So many things going on. Celebrity Apprentice style, man, it was a really good episode. Let's go down the line and do an introduction of everybody. And as I'm going to let you know, next week our main host will be here. His name is AJ Jolivet. I believe he recapped the last couple seasons of Celebrity Apprentice, so we're excited about that. Today, though, my name is Ronnie Jr., and I'm going to help introduce or talk about some of these topics for this great show. We also have Kristen Carney. Hello.
Hello. I'm way more focused on saying hello to the camera than I am to you.
As we're doing some camera
as we should be
adjustments, and of course the always assertive, and what I'd like to say, if this was a boardroom of a regular apprentice, we would not want to go up against Kimlai because she knows what she's doing. Kimlai Yingling, how are you?
I'm groovy.
You're really good to recap this show because you were on it. You're business oriented. You take notes very well, and you speak better than myself. How about that?
I'm more better than
more better. And a newer. Is this your first AfterBuzz?
Did you say newer?
Yes. You can say newer, can't you?
And a newer AfterBuzzer?
Mo better?
More new.
All right, well, let's move on. Can you do an introduction of who you are? And you got a nice, interesting, fun name.
My name is Alina, and I'm a Celeb Apprentice fan and excited to start with AfterBuzz.
Oh, sweet. And what allowed you to be, how did you find out about AfterBuzz?
Through coworkers and just word of mouth.
Okay, good. Yeah, we are buzzing. We are growing. Tell a friend. That's what they say. Of course, AfterBuzzTV.com. Celebrity Apprentice, what did you guys think? Oh, my, this show was 2 hours long, which there's other shows on these networks. NBC does it a lot. That they do bring these 2-hour shows, and the content is not there. But Celebrity Apprentice, it's pretty interesting. I would say.
I mean, it was on. We were able to fast forward, so that was great. I don't know if I would have necessarily wanted to sit through 2 hours and commercials,
right?
But it does go fast because of the way we're able to watch it. But I thought it was pretty interesting. You know, there was no politicians really on this one or anyone that brought, controversy with them. A lot of the people on the show are stars or models or celebrities,
right?
Or people that need their career rejuvenated a bit back on the show.
D-list celebrities. I feel like you're talking about Debbie Gibson initially.
Oh my gosh!
You were not a fan of Debbie Gibson.
I don't hate her in public.
I know. I'm always surprised sometimes that people don't joke more and call it D-list Celebrity Apprentice.
I'm sure they do. I mean, yeah, they definitely do.
You guys, I was following, there's a blog roll on the Washington Post, and there were so many comments of people going, I only know 3 out of the 18 people. I mean, this is the biggest cast
18
ever.
people, right?
18 people.
That's every show.
And it went on and on and on.
But that's saying something about the people watching the show because they should be, if you're watching TV, you should know who these people are for the most part, unless you've been living under a rock.
True.
I mean, I can see a couple
Incredible
people.
Hulk?
Right. You know, I think it's a new generation of people that might not know everybody.
Well, and
it's a new generation.
And people always want to say that. They always want to say, oh, what is it, Dancing with the Stars? I don't know any of those people. It's like, I mean, even if you don't know the person,
you're right.
People, the fans or whatever.
The internet, very helpful tool.
Yeah.
Well, you know who they knew? George Takei.
Is that a favorite of yours?
No, just because he's Asian.
No, you said that.
She loves the secretary.
I know, there was an Asian secretary, but she was only in like the first 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
I don't know then they replaced her with a white girl, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Michael's always replacing people. No, I'm just kidding. I know you guys are both white.
Okay.
For the people that are listening.
You're very interesting tonight. Shall we go down the list of cast members? I mean, this was, like you said, was this the biggest season?
Biggest,
18. They don't have.
18.
They usually don't have 18.
Why do you think they went so big? Ratings? I think maybe having more names brings more viewers.
They may have got a bigger.
I do.
Yeah, they may have got a bigger order. I don't know. We'll have to check that out.
A lot. And Donald Trump, he was doing an interview with the Today Show with Matt Lauer a few days ago, and he was saying that there were 14 other shows that try to do the exact same thing as Celebrity Apprentice, and they've all failed. So
I've heard him talk about that.
You have to continue bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And the Donald is so entertaining. I mean, just the way he holds his mouth makes me laugh.
I just look at him.
Just he's like this. Please zoom in.
I know, right?
You know?
Oh yeah, he's definitely the draw. I mean, they even had another. They had another apprentice with Martha Stewart, right? I mean, it was exactly a type of.
There's one that was highly
I mean, but I think he was talking about how many shows did he say? 17, 14.
14.
He was even referring to like Diddy had a version, and the country music arena had a version.
Donald exaggerates a little though,
but he's good at selling his point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why when you get into those boardrooms, he smells your BS real quick, you know? I mean, there's just no way you could kind of give this like phony answer, or if you give a really nice, sweet answer, he gives it right back to you, you know?
He makes for good TV.
He doesn't mind being controversial. He does what he does. Okay, a little bit about the cast members. We have Adam Carolla, Arsenio Hall, Aubrey O'Day. I like Aubrey O'Day. We'll talk about her in a little bit.
Lord.
And I know she says some crazy things that just don't favor her, but that's one of my favorites.
Is she 12?
No.
Or, I mean, right?
She's 12 with
like the youngest
with
one
a 30-year-old.
She's 26 or something like that.
Oh, Lord.
She's a hot mess.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Oof, poor girl.
She proved that tonight. Okay, she's one of Ronnie's favorites,
And
you guys.
I liked her for making the band, yeah.
She looks so different.
From making the band?
Her hair with Gotti's hair, the two of them together just is like a drag queen's dream.
Right?
Yeah.
And what her eyes, it's like
I was going to say, why is she like that?
her face
Has
was
she
like
gotten
this the
both
whole
times?
time. It didn't. Oh.
Aubrey doesn't mind being looked at and laughed at.
Obviously.
I feel like. We'll talk about her comment a little
Ronnie
bit.
will defend her to his death.
No, because I liked her for making the band. I felt like initially she had a lot of ambition, but no, I know that she went through her route of being crazy, what'd you say, hot mess reality star. I get that. She did Playboy. I understand. You didn't know that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
That's what was in the backseat of your car.
I do follow all her tweets, I must say. But no, let me go down all the. So we have Cheryl Tiegs. Oh, Cheryl Tiegs, very nice lady. Clay Aiken, Diana Mendoza. We have Debbie Gibson, the singer, of course, from way back in the 80s. Dee Snider. George Takei. Kristen, do you want to take the next group right here?
I don't know how to read. Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Lisa Lampanelli, Lou Ferrigno, Michael Andretti, Paula Vasquez.
Patricia, who was the project leader.
Sorry. Paul Tatul, who we love from Orange County Choppers. Penn Jillette, who I love from the show Bullshit on Showtime. You should all be watching it.
Is that what it's called, or is it called BS?
It's called Bullshit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's
All
no
right.
bullshit, and they're not worried about offending anybody. It's great. Teresa from New Jersey Housewives. What's her last name?
Doesn't she change her last name like a bunch?
Yeah, it used to be Judice, and now it's Judice.
And she's like one of those reality
I
media
thought tonight,
girls.
I'm like, what did she just say?
Pretentious.
Do you guys think that's smart, or I mean, not smart because it's not
I don't
smart.
even think she's smart. I don't know. I don't even want to talk
but
about Teresa.
She seems like one of them reality stars that every week does roll out a whole another, something about her just to get people talking about her. So she's media-wise, I don't think the Donald is going to kick her out soon because doesn't she have a big draw? I mean,
Well, right now I think she's the most fresh face
Right.
because of New Jersey Housewives.
boy,
So
all
she-
those women and their fake faces. That was something else. Right?
We never call them.
I think
fresh
Cheryl
face.
Tiegs was the only one.
That what? Had a normal face?
Well, and that
There
little
was
girl.
There was a
that
lot
Miss
of plastic.
Universe.
Yeah.
Miss Universe.
Speaking of plastic-looking faces or lips or all that, Tia Carrere. How do you say that last name?
Carrera.
Was it the lips
Are
that
those
were
her real lips?
Yeah.
No.
You commented
Oh.
several times about that.
Well, I just couldn't stop staring at them. I didn't know if they were.
I've seen her in her all natural state, no makeup, no hair done, wet hair, sopping wet, and you can definitely tell she's had at least something. Yeah.
She seems nice.
Do you think people can
She's very
tell?
nice.
When they look in the mirror, do you think people can tell that their mouths are so big?
Yeah, she gets it, but she's been in this business for a long time. Maybe her visual of herself is just altered after a while. You don't agree?
Well, living in Los
It
Angeles,
must be altered.
living in Los Angeles, I'm from upstate New York. No one has plastic surgery. Coming to Los Angeles now, women who have those like duck faces and weird faces seem to look a little bit more normal to me. So if
that's
you're living
interesting.
here for 20 years, that's just more
Well, how
normal.
long have you lived here?
Like 3 years.
Oh, so you'll have the duck face eventually? Is that what you're saying?
I won't have it. I'll just
I'm
be more.
kidding.
My eyes are more accepting of it. Not that I'll ever like it.
No, you're right.
But
They all
I'm
look the
used to it
same.
now. Even though it's horrible.
Just by being around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, again, she's been around for a long time. I'm actually surprised Debbie Gibson doesn't have...
A nose job.
Well, I wasn't even going to say that.
I think she's had some work. She's had some Botox.
Yeah.
But as Kimlai said,
Well-
not her nose. Her nose is still
Yeah.
needs a little...
Gosh.
Actually,
needs-
today was Googling rhinoplasty before and after, and she did not come up. But so many celebrities come up that I would have never known.
Right.
Like Scarlett Johansson, nose job. Oh my God.
Really?
Yes. There's so many celebrities you would never imagine, but I could see her being on that short list of people who need it.
Right. It's a tough town, and I guess people do what they have to do to make themselves feel better. Okay, let's talk about, it opens up in the Lincoln Center. Oh, real quick before we do that.
Yes.
Shall we do our favorites or a couple people that are our favorites? I know for sure Kristen Carney really enjoys Adam Carolla. And
I saw your tongue about to roll into the L and say the L word, the love word. But you can absolutely say that because I do. I'm a huge Adam Carolla supporter. I
Yeah.
don't want to say fan because
And
I
he
want to
did
be like
so
on his
good
level.
today too. Yeah.
He's
Yeah, he's-
funny.
Wait, you
thing
don't want to
is,
say
he is
what
very
because
funny.
of it?
I want to be like on his level where I'm not a fan. You know, we're like
Good.
You know, we're,
well,
we're
can
one.
we? I mean, I don't want to detour too much, and this is not detouring from the
Okay.
show Celebrity Apprentice, but what Adam Carolla has done for, I mean, even us sitting here doing a podcast.
Okay.
What and you, Kristen, could speak on this. What he has done for the podcast, I mean, I think his opening was, what did they call him? Internet sensation. They didn't call him internet sensation, but they
He's
said
like a broadcasting genius
What did
because
they call him?
well, when they were doing the open and everyone, you know, Aubrey O'Day was pop star, which was of course a little questionable.
Really?
But I love her. My point is, they did say something. I'll have to rewatch it. Internet something, phenom or something. And he really is that. I mean, I used to listen to his radio program on. Well, of course, everyone listened to Loveline when he, years ago. And then he had a morning talk radio show here in Los Angeles on 97.1 Free FM. Well, that went to became a pop station, and he literally just, I mean. From what I saw as a fan, he decided to keep that morning show intact and create what we call a podcast. There had been podcasts before, but obviously Kristen could probably
he's the
speak
one
on
who
it.
yeah, he has the most viewers
Brought
in the
it.
entire world on iTunes. You know, and he's doing no advertising, virtually none.
Studio.
You know, so
Phil could speak on this too.
He
Garage.
records out of his garage in Glendale. You know, it's just this homespun thing, and I don't know how many. He's got like 2 million viewers a day, listeners a day, whereas like the Oprah network only has like 100,000 or something a day, or something crazy small
Wow.
comparatively.
Are we
So
tweeting him?
Yeah. Oh, I've already tweeted him. I don't know if he's. I mean, he's got a lot of followers.
Oh
I
my
don't know
goodness.
if he's gonna. No, he has. He has
But
done.
the thing, I'm sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
go
the thing
ahead.
is with Adam Carolla is that he brings, there's such non-realness in a lot of the media. Everyone's like, oh, this person's beautiful and this person's great and let's say hello and let's kiss this person's ass. No, Adam Carolla is so good at being real and honest about everything from like hand soap and what kind of hand soap he likes to like, you know, what he thinks about a person, and he'll say it, and I think it's so refreshing, and it just shows in the numbers that that's what people want to hear. Is they want to hear like truth, honesty,
Right.
and humor.
Right.
Because we lack so much of it.
And I
that's
think
why
he
I'm
did-
such a fan of his.
He did. Oh,
Good.
Yeah, I
Right?
I think we're both going to say the same thing. He was on point tonight. I mean, his comments.
Yeah.
He seems so diplomatic, even though some of the stuff it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little off the
hilarious.
wall.
Yeah, he smoothly can throw in a
Yes,
joke
I
without
like
being
that.
awkward about it, where he's trying
Well,
to
and
be a funny guy.
I try to figure out what it is about him, because obviously the thing about the show, which is interesting, is there's all these celebrities, and they have to come together, and each of them in their own right are like stars amongst their little group or whatever. Or,
Yes.
maybe they have a reality show and they're like a star, or maybe they were a singer, they're big. But when you come together, some of them get overshadowed. So I was kind of hoping, and we sort of knew Adam Carolla would not get overshadowed. He was like the star of the show. He really, really was. So to me, I'm asking Kristen, because we're both big fans of Adam Carolla. It's like, why did he shine? And I'm thinking, these other people, you guys could agree or disagree on this, these other people on this show, they have a reason to be there, or they're still trying to take that F list or D list talent and put themselves back on the limelight, right? He does not care. You know, I believe it was CBS Radio. I probably shouldn't say which company, but I believe CBS Radio at some point after he got let go from 97.1 FM, Free FM, in Los Angeles re-offered him an opportunity. I don't know if it was on the pop station. I don't think so. But my point is he turned those opportunities down because his podcast makes his money. So I think when you have that much control of your career, you just walk in there and you're funny. And he was a carpenter, at the Groundlings? Isn't that how he?
Yeah, he started comedy doing. He started the Acme
We're
Comedy
so into
Theater.
Adam Carolla.
I know you guys are. They're going to ask us in a second who our favorites were, but we're not going to talk about them that long.
Adam Carolla, I don't want to hear it. No, he started the Acme Comedy Theater in Los Angeles when he had no money. He's talked about how he couldn't even save $500 in case of a medical emergency.
Yep.
And so he's built himself up from literally just being a funny guy. Him
and Jimmy Kimmel rolled together a lot in the earlier stages.
Yep.
Anyway, so he's great, and it was good that you do watch the show. You're like, oh, I don't know if he's gonna shine. He definitely shined.
So what is he doing it for? Charity, just?
Every single one of them have a charity that they're representing, that they're doing the show for.
Yeah, but
what charity?
Solely do you know the charity?
Well, I could definitely look it up as
and
you're.
then also,
It's Christian.
Didn't he do
It's a
Dancing
Christian
with the Stars?
Brotherhood thing.
Yeah, Catholic Big Brother.
Right.
Yes.
Catholic Big Brothers, which was pretty random to me. That's cute.
Yeah. Well,
Did you say that's cute?
Yeah. He's
That's
a big
cute.
brother.
Yeah, no, that was
Big Bad Brothers.
that was his charity. Yeah, I mean, if you go to the NBC.com website, it has everyone's
Did
list.
he do Dancing with the Stars too?
He
Am I
did do
right?
Dancing
He
with
did
Stars,
do
yeah.
Dancing with the Stars.
My surprise with him is he's such a no-nonsense guy, and he's willing to go on these shows and kind of, in a way, pick fun at himself a little bit, which is cool because when you hear him talking, he knows how to rip into things and make fun of things, but he's willing to be on that end of it, which I think is cool. He's not just sitting behind going, "Oh, these guys are a bunch of schmucks doing this show."
Yeah.
He's willing to kind of get out there and put his face out there. He has nothing to prove. He's already successful. He already has a lot of money.
That's it,
And
yeah.
I think he just does it for. I mean, I would guess. Oh yeah.
It was the big group, and they're all at the Lincoln Center, and they're doing the introduction, which who's, like I said, who's going to shine. So they said, Adam, what do you do? What's your charity about? Just like the question you had. What's your charity? And he goes, oh, it's for the white kids without iPads. I mean, he's just a funny guy.
I thought he was serious
was
for a
hilarious.
second.
Did you really?
I did for a
I
second.
think
It was like,
Lisa Lampanelli.
well.
Another comedian, she had a really good one. Oh, why are you here, Lisa? What's your deal? And she goes, oh, I'm just representing for the black women. Obviously she's not a black woman. It's
Right.
She's not.
She is not. Yeah. It was a funny group. I think this group was solid. Now, Kimlai, I'm so sorry.
I'm just, what? Maybe we should explain though to the viewers or the people that are listening that the reason we're spending so much time on Adam Carolla is because AfterBuzz does do podcasts, and he is so well known for podcasts. So he's obviously going to be a huge favorite.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we're hoping that he'll
pool's
tweet
huge.
us.
He will.
And talk about our podcast for our after show.
He will. Who do you like, Kimlai? And
I didn't. I'll tell you who I didn't like.
I always like to start with that.
I didn't really have a favorite going in, but I'm not a fan of Debbie Gibson. I'm not a fan of Teresa.
And you watched the Housewives show, so I'm surprised by
Yes,
that.
and I wasn't a fan of her then either.
Is that
I think
who
you
she's
could be?
drama, just unnecessary
That's good TV.
drama. It is. I watched
That's
it
why I want her on the
obviously,
show.
but she's crazy. I liked other people more on the show. I wasn't sure how I felt about Diana Mendoza, the former Miss Universe. I still think even after tonight's episode, she's a little bit of a pretty face.
She's
She's a little blah.
Very
She's a little
surprised
blah.
by
She's very good
Patricia
looking.
Velasquez.
She was better looking than Patricia.
She's very pretty.
She's
She's
12,
beautiful.
for God's sake.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm just kidding.
do you
I'm
want
just kidding.
everyone on the show to be over 50?
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Patricia Velasquez, I was very surprised.
She was a shark. Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
I was too.
Reading some of the bios and just looking at her pictures, she was my pick for the first to go.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised by her tonight. She stepped it up.
She's really smart, and I think she had a really good cause, and that's why she was able to. I thought the women were going to win personally, because when they were showing all these people donating, I was like, wow, she's getting a lot
Well,
of
that's
money.
the magic of editing. They did
Yes.
not let us know that he had
No.
a friend. They played that. They
Exactly.
showed the store empty.
Yeah,
They showed
exactly.
him it was standing around and taking off their shirts and
Right. But I thought the guys did work. Should we wait?
Well,
Let's talk about.
Okay, well,
let's go back now
let's-
to the
let's-
beginning.
Well, just real quick before we'll talk about project manager and all that. So that your favorite is Teresa?
She's not my favorite, but I like Teresa because I know, like
I
you
don't
said,
think I like her.
She's drama, and you know what? She's pretty stupid. I hate to say
Oh,
that.
that's nice. We're not
You
going
know,
to get a
she-
retweet
yeah.
from her.
She's watching you right now, you know.
I know, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
But she comes
We're gonna
off
be in her
that
next
way
book.
on TV.
She comes off what?
She comes off as an airhead. So
Right.
I want to see her prove herself to be really smart because I think she has it in her
Yeah.
to do that.
I mean, it's that conflict
Really?
because those types of,
so.
people in her situation, I'm assuming,
TV.
they're trying to be good TV. Like I said, Adam Carolla, I think, is
Exactly.
good TV because he doesn't have to be. And he's like, he could go off tomorrow. He could be the second one eliminated, and he's fine with it. Teresa, you better bet she's trying
Yeah.
to do something
wa-
that gets her attention.
She's trying to perpetuate this career that she's got going on reality TV and get a little bit more money and,
She was pretty quiet tonight, though. I
She
was
was.
surprised. That
She
wasn't
was.
necessarily her normal routine.
No.
But-
I'm dying to talk about Aubrey O'Day at some point, but let's just first
And
do.
Arsenio.
Lord.
I wanna
Arsenio
see
was
him.
great. He was
He's
great.
funny. I want to see what he has.
He has really great charisma.
You guys, Donald Trump, he picked two that he thought were outstanding. Obviously, they've already shot everything, and he had set Arsenio Hall and Clay Aiken.
Oh, on the
Were the
interview,
two
the press
standouts.
interview.
Is Clay, let me just ask this. Is Clay Aiken named Clay because he looks like he's made out of clay?
He does look a
He
little.
is so insane looking.
What is
I'm
that?
not
What-
saying that in a
does he-
bad
is it surgery
He looks
or-
like he's he just
No.
the shape of everything.
he
His
does.
hair was like no movement. It was just like he was like a wax figure.
Oh,
I've
I
never
don't know.
actually
I don't know if
looked-
that's why.
I've never actually
his name.
looked at Clay Aiken.
Right.
I've always been like, oh, Clay Aiken. Then I saw him and I'm like, Clay Aiken.
Oh,
Okay.
like a nickname.
Clay. No,
Yeah,
he looks like Clay.
maybe.
He doesn't look like a real
Maybe,
human.
but he didn't look like that when he first started on Dancing with
He
Stars. He was
with
not on Dancing with
Idol.
American Idol.
No, he's
Excuse
gained
me.
a little bit of weight, and he's
And now
matured.
his face is clay.
He looks very, I don't know.
So-
Maybe it was the makeup or something.
I feel like he's going to be the backstabber on the show, the manipulative one.
I think you're
I'm surprised that Donald said good
Really?
stuff about him. He seems real quiet and he's kind of under the radar, but I guess that's good.
I
This is
know.
my impression
well,
of Clay.
Aw.
the hair doesn't move.
He said that, what did he say about Clay? Oh, that he gets pretty nasty.
And Clay did say, I
So
don't
don't-
want to be known as the runner-up anymore. So I think he's serious.
Yeah.
He has always been known as that.
Then maybe he will bring
But-
it, on this season. So the project managers for the males, we have Paul from American Chopper.
Yep.
Who definitely impressed all of us, I think. I mean, it's always interesting for us when we're watching for one of these cast members to just he sort of volunteered a lot upon himself, right? I mean, well,
Yeah.
they're actually Adam Carolla.
did volunteer, right?
Well, he
Yeah.
volunteered
He
after
volunteered.
Adam threw it. It's pretty good strategy, even though Adam Carolla maybe was
Jokingly.
how did he do that again? That was he did it in a way where he was, because when I heard Adam talk, I'm thinking, oh God, don't talk. You want to kind of be quiet at the beginning. And Adam was, putting himself out there, but he found a way to throw something to this guy, Paul from American Chopper, and almost make him dangle off that, the little carrot and say, yeah, I'm the man, I'm Orange County, Chopper, I'm the man, I'm going to be the project manager.
Well, Adam said it to
And
him
he
almost like
did.
he was joking about it. Like
That was really
Paul's
slick.
never going to be the manager, and then
That's
Paul's
how
like,
he
I'll be the
did it.
manager.
Something.
So
Right,
it was
right.
like this kind of.
It was almost like you kind of push
Random.
somebody and then they have to show you how good they are. I think that's what Paul did. And then he said, I'm going to bring in how much money?
500,000, which he
Yes.
was actually kind of close.
He was
Yeah.
305, but
But
still, that's
Shocked
just
me.
something
I thought
to.
he was just talk.
Well, they finished
Yeah.
I thought
with
he was going to make like 25,000.
they
Yeah.
finished with 494,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So he was
But
$6,000.
that's a lot. That is pretty ambitious.
I want to know who the person was that donated 305,000.
Oh,
You
did
know,
they
I'm
actually
glad
never?
I don't want to know
He didn't
because
say.
if someone donated, I spit. Woo! If someone donated $300,000 and then they were like, yeah, that was me, it'd be like, oh, what an asshole,
What do you mean?
Don't brag about volunteer stuff. Do it. Like there's a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where Larry David did not want his name attached because he didn't want to look like he was bragging about donating
Yeah.
money,
Right.
and then eventually it got out or something.
I get your point, but if he mentions it, Paul, like my good friend so and so,
And
I
he
think
probably
it's
asked
okay,
him not to. I would just kind of
yeah, I
do
would
it.
Or it
assume.
could have got
Yeah, I'm sure it was he
edited
didn't want to be
out
revealed.
or something.
I mean, if I donated that much, I would be like, yeah, it was me.
I know, right? I did it.
Her Twitter feed.
I did it.
Spot in
Her
heaven.
Twitter feed 6 days in a row. Did I tell you already? Yeah, you'd be all about
Right,
letting
by the
people
way,
know.
my name's Kristen.
So
I
the name of
donated.
the name of the guys group is Unanimous. Cool name, not nothing too crazy. Female project manager. And what do you guys think about the males versus females? It's what they've been doing for the most part for these seasons.
I don't
I
mind
think it's
it.
a little old fashioned.
I kind of want to see the groups together. I don't want to see the male versus the female, only because, I mean, I don't know how this is going to sound, but the males usually are a little more chill. I guess Meatloaf kind of yelled at one point, but and then the females, they're a little more become catty in this environment. I'll say that was a nice way of saying it.
I think it's hard to get a group of women together and working together,
I guess that's
and that
great
might be the strategy
for
and
TV,
the point.
like you say. But I would
want to see a mix too, though.
Okay, yeah.
I think
I
it's
like
a
them
different
separate.
dynamic when they're mixed.
Yeah, well, there's a dynamic of maybe sex appeal, or I mean, there's flirting. I mean, there's kind of a lot that you could go off of.
I mean, if you step back.
I mean, I guess George Takei could flirt with Lou Ferrigno if he really wanted.
Oh my
which he
gosh,
did. Which
tonight
he
he's
sort of,
like, oh my God,
which he
take
sort
off
of
that
did.
shirt.
An amazing
That
impression.
was so funny. It's
That was
just
good.
he's
see a lot of
adorable.
Asian.
He is
like
adorable.
that.
Yeah. It's refreshing.
Yes.
Actually. But if you step back, you take a look at any corporation, women are mixed in with the men. It's not like
course.
women are, on their own side of the world and like not allowed to run businesses with men. So it would be a little bit more realistic in terms of what results you would yield from doing something like this. But I think I don't know why they keep the women together, because I think
Well, for the fighting, maybe.
for the fighting, but there's still going to be women together on the other team. And if you narrow it down to just 2 or 3 women, they might actually get more catty with each other because there's only a few of them.
Yeah.
But it just, I think when you put all women together, you get that typical, like, let's be like the female femme fatales or something. And
Right.
it becomes this like cheesy woman fest. And I'm so not into that cheesy woman fest. And it's very predictable and it bores me because they all get together and they're like, we're strong and we're powerful. And then the guys get together and they kind of laugh. It's just so
And even
blah.
going
Like,
into
we've
it,
seen before.
the guys are always like, we're just gonna be more relaxed because we know the women are gonna like. I feel like I want to say like the Jose Canseco year, like they kind of approached it in that way, where like let's let these women bury themselves. I mean, and
Right.
so anytime these reality shows become too much of a pattern, it becomes a little unfair. So now the men know, let's back up. These women are gonna bury themselves. I mean, although they didn't lose, the women didn't lose this particular one because of cattiness, but it's something I would like to see change possibly, in other seasons, because I like the interaction with both.
I think Lisa Lampanelli should step off the women's team and just go with the men.
Yeah,
And not
you would be that girl too.
That would be me.
She would be like,
I can't
I
deal
think.
with women. I cannot deal with women. I would literally say, like, I would wave the white flag and just say, just kick me off now because I can't do this, like, makeup fest. I can't.
Yeah. So the challenge that they had was Kimlai. Kimlai is an amazing, you know your notes, your stats, your everything. So I'm gonna let you
Whatever.
just take this away. What
They had to make celebrity sandwiches. And whoever made the most money, obviously, from selling the sandwiches, they sandwich.
Well,
I was calling it a sandwich. What were they calling it? A
Arsenio said
sandwich
it.
is always better than a sandwich.
Yeah, it's like singing or sangin'. It's a difference.
So they had to make sandwiches, and so each team, the girls and the guys, they had to come up with different themes of what would gain the most attraction, and bring people into the store to buy their sandwich. So, the guys made. I think they focused more around who was the
chopper thing.
the chopper.
Paul?
And so they had 3 different kinds instead of taking each celebrity and naming a sandwich after each one. So that was really smart, I thought, on their
agree.
part.
Yeah.
Because
Keep it simple.
Teller was the one. I mean, he is so smart.
He is
I was
smart.
surprised. Not
He's
that I
very
thought he
smart.
was
Attention,
stupid.
yeah.
That's why you have
but-
to watch that show Bullshit. He is so smart.
He is
Well,
smart.
he's the one who said you guys should only do 3, and it should all be around that one
Like,
person.
The turkey chopper, the Reuben chopper,
Yes,
whatever.
absolutely. And he was just like, branding matters.
Yeah.
It's like, dang.
Branding does matter
He-
because if you look at his career,
And
he's
it
just
did.
branded.
Exactly.
You know, you
Right.
kind of know who he is when you look at him.
Exactly. I don't even know what the girls came up with.
They
for their
came up
Well,
with
I should-
Debbie
don't
Gibson
either.
came up, right? Was it Debbie?
I mean, I
don't
saw what
know.
they did for Rachel Ray, which
You're
we'll
talking
get to.
you're talking
but
about what theme they had?
what did they sell?
They sold
for their
they
sandwich.
They had
grilled
grilled
chicken,
cheese.
grilled cheese sandwiches, yeah.
Which
grilled
I
cheese.
personally thought that was a bad idea.
Well,
Well,
they
they-
pointed out that it's going to take longer to prepare. So it's like
Exactly.
not a great business model
Yeah.
for sandwich making in terms of efficiency.
What did you think about the difference between the carnival aspect outdoors for the men and then the red carpet thing for the anti-women's movement or whatever you are?
I thought the carnival was good. I wish they would have found a way to get them in. Obviously, one. But I
But
mean,
I'm
I
also
wish they would have found
it
a way
was
to
a bit
get
much, I
them in the
thought.
store. It's like, I'm sure there could have been a different strategy. They could have still did what they did outside, but brought them in. Maybe
way-
they could have had a few people inside.
Or it was done
You
that
know?
it was done that way for the most part, and possibly because of editing, like you say, there was one little particular moment where it was dead,
Right.
and they let the one soundbite from the contender or whatever you want to call these contestants saying, "Oh God, kind of lame that we have people outside. We need to," and they built it as, "Oh God, the guys are gonna lose." So it may not have been that bad.
No, but we're commenting on what we saw.
Dude, good point. You're just
So
you'd get me in a boardroom. You would
talking right now about what we saw, not
I'd be
what
like,
we
"Donald,
think
send me
got edited.
right.
No speculation, just facts.
And I thought exactly, and I thought I don't know. It seemed like Penn. Is it Penn and Teller?
It's Penn.
Penn Jillette.
See, Teller's the
Branding.
other one.
Branding. See, he's branded himself so well.
I just, oh my gosh, like the Incredible Hulk show and Penn, what's his name?
Juggling.
Gillette doing his thing. It's like, you guys, I just felt like they really were putting themselves out there and giving themselves a star for a bit.
Well, it's
and who
funny
wouldn't
that-
like that though? You know, I mean, they've earned that right, but
They're men, and like you could see,
my guns.
they're rough around the edges,
Oh,
just
my
like
Lord.
their little campaign was rough around the edges,
Yeah,
just like Paul is.
led by Paul, yeah.
Very obvious.
Wow.
And I'm surprised that George didn't put any of his gay touches on it and refine it a little bit. You know what I
In
mean?
what way? What could he have done though?
I don't know, something. And I mean, I didn't mind it because I actually preferred it over the red carpet because I felt like that was so predictable. Like, oh, we're
surprised they
women and
stuck
we're
I
with
liked the
celebrities.
carnival. Did you like the carnival better too?
I liked the idea of the carnival better. I think it just got a little too crazy outside. Like there was so much going on. I think if I walked by, I'd be like, "What the hell is happening right here?" And I
think-
wouldn't even know to go buy a
Well,
sandwich.
Yeah.
the thing with the
Right.
red carpet, that's such a, I don't want to say it's such a demographic because tons of people love entertainment, but I think with the carnival, it's everyone will stare across the board. Somebody who
Yes.
likes entertainment will still stare at a carnival. Somebody who likes entertainment is going to love a red carpet.
Or walk the
but a-
completely
the
other
choppers,
direction.
the
sports-
choppers
a sport-
outside, that was awesome.
a sports fan may look at a red carpet and then what is
the
this?
other-
And then if they get wind that it's a housewife and they've never watched
Or Aubrey, who is a self-proclaimed star.
It's just very self-indulgent, the celebrity thing. It's like,
Oh
we
my
get that you're
goodness.
celebrities. That's why you're on the show called
Well, why did-
Celebrity Apprentice.
What
You know,
was
and I
the
thought
con-
it was just so obvious.
What was the context of what Aubrey said? Because you didn't like it very much.
Oh my gosh, they were trying to figure out who was
The draw.
at right now at this time. Who has the most draw? And of course, they said it was Teresa, and she was like, "Well, I don't any of these women, and she's the most popular." And I'm sorry, what exactly did she say?
She said,
goes, "I have the most Twitter followers."
All right,
here's
well,
the deal with
I'll give
Twitter
you the-
And then
I'll
of
give you the
course
stats in a
they
second.
cut.
The deal with Twitter followers is how many of those are spam bots. But I understand she has the most. My followers are all spam bots or whatever they're called.
Except for
And-
us
I have a
three.
few that I
Except for you
bought. Jeez.
And how many
follows
teenagers
you
that
too.
aren't walking the streets of New York City? So if you're talking about relevancy, Teresa is from New Jersey, New York area. This girl isn't like relevant on the streets, I think, as much as Teresa would be, because Twitter is such a like, you're home and you're like naked looking at the computer like, "Meh." You know, those people aren't always out on the streets. So I don't think she
gotta
really
still
made her point with the
I know
Twitter.
you guys, this is gonna get me, this is terrible, but I still gotta defend Aubrey a little bit.
I feel a little bad for her.
well,
I do too.
I really want to get an interview with her at some point because
You should help her, Ronnie. Help her.
The reason I like her is not because, and actually I was talking to somebody the other day who also liked her originally, and they call her like the good Aubrey and the bad Aubrey, meaning she
you
used to be,
kidding?
well, because when she originated on Making the Band, she said such great things as far as confidence, and Diddy, when he had her on the Making the Band show, which is very similar to Apprentice, you had to be put through the ringer. I mean, talent-wise, obviously American Idol contestants and The Voice contestants are more vocally, it's a better show in that respect, but
Right.
Diddy made them, wake up 72-day challenge and run around Central Park. I mean, they really worked. And she, at that time, that Aubrey from Orange County, or now she says she's from San Francisco. She says she's from everywhere. She's kind of a little, media attention. She does Playboy. She did change a lot. But I think that this show, hopefully if she does well on it, will give her a chance to maybe have people like her again. But you guys clearly were not into it, really.
No, not really.
Her drive.
Maybe she'll get some more Twitter followers.
Her drive and passion is good from the old days, but that comment was
I think
bad.
she lost focus. Like, you wanted to be a pop singer, you wanted to sing, but then all of a sudden she was just this big media
Yeah.
Or you can say it.
whore. So, she wasn't doing what she wanted to do. She just wanted to be in the picture, like in the tabloids and BSing. And
But you guys don't think she has a big following?
Well, how many Twitter followers did you say she
well,
had?
Teresa does win, so I'll give you that.
Like 380,000.
Teresa has 417,000. Okay.
Oh, she has more Twitter
Teresa
followers.
has more Twitter followers.
And Aubrey has 382. I'm interested
That's
to
funny.
see about
That's funny.
Adam Carolla, what he has. I mean, but then again, I
probably
don't,
more than
but
both
then
of
again,
them.
But then it is a question of who's on Twitter, like you said. Like, I mean, even though I don't know. Well, you keep talking, and I'm gonna find out about Adam Carolla.
Well, Aubrey was obviously wrong. She doesn't know her facts because she doesn't have the most. And what was she doing before the show? Just Googling everyone's Twitter followers and like building herself up?
I think the comment she made was for soundbite purposes. She knew that she would say, if she said it like that, Aubrey's real
that's
smart.
true.
Aubrey is like that. The one housewife I do like is that Bethany. I don't know if she's still on the housewife shows, but she is
She has her own show.
Well, because she's a soundbite freak. I mean, you know, I
actually watched
She's funny.
it for the first time today.
Some people
when I was
really-
catching up on
Bethany
Apprentice.
is really smart though.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they
a
understand
billionaire.
what needs to be said. Think about it like this. Aubrey just pumped her Twitter followers. And in some token, every single one of those people who are following her are now loving her even more. Like, her real fans are loving her even more. They're going to follow her product. Is Aubrey singing amazing? No, I don't know. I'm going to defend Aubrey till forever, so I guess I should just
she's
move
so
on.
amazing when she grabbed that microphone away from Debbie Gibson.
That was so annoying. Why
Who
were they
does
fighting
that?
for the mic
I want
when
to sing
Wyclef
with
Jean is sitting
Wyclef.
there?
Wyclef. I called him Wyclef. Wow.
Adam Carolla has 265,000 followers, but
that must not be accurate because I think he has
breaks
a lot more.
Well, he breaks podcast records. So the Twitter thing is a good thing to say, but it could be.
I have 800.
Do you now? All right.
Anyways.
I have 1,000 and
Whatever.
losing. I'm counting how many I'm losing.
I have a few drop off every day.
Okay, so we had Wyclef come in. Wyclef came into the women's,
Yes.
and he
did.
donated $15,000.
Yes.
You were, I guess I should
Russell Simmons donated 10.
you were asking about Wyclef, like where he came from. Yeah, he was born in Haiti, and I believe he grew up in New Jersey when he was with the Fugees. So
Which is just like Haiti.
what was that?
There were quite a
The views expressed
few.
herein are those of the host only. Not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or partners.
I was waiting for
You
that.
should probably go to Kristen's website to get a little more of all of that madness.
I'm from there. I can say that.
Okay, good.
There were quite a few guest appearances.
Russell Simmons, yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. One of the vegan
His
sandwich.
was a little. Yeah, they made it a big.
But how hard?
big
Come
scene.
on.
Yeah, did they come through in the clutch? The women, yeah.
They did.
Yes.
I'm surprised that he's a vegan.
They did.
Really?
I
He's
don't know. I
included.
wasn't.
Why are you
Is
surprised
he?
about that?
I don't know. I
wasn't
don't know
surp-
much
I don't know, I
about him
wasn't
besides
surprised.
like
He
he's
was
a music guy.
He was he's a music mogul and
He's
got
very
money.
big into
Very
yoga,
spiritual.
meditation.
Well, you thought he was still with Kimura, right?
Yeah, so I'm a little back there. I don't even know what
You're not
vegan
in
means.
the Twitter zone era. You're in the MySpace era. You're on Friendster.
Oh my gosh. Andy Cohen.
Love
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
No,
He
me
don't.
too.
What did he donate?
Let's see how many followers he has. Because if Teresa has that many, wouldn't he have more? Because he runs that network.
Did
I mean,
he say what he
May not.
donated?
I don't
know.
They didn't say. I really don't think they said because they said, and we got head of Bravo, Andy Cohen, and then they cut to him
He
smiling, and
brought-
then that was it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do they
why-
show
he
more-
probably didn't
Carol
want
Alt.
it said.
Do they show more love to the Bravo people because of the NBC connection? I was just kind of wondering that.
Possibly.
Even with the
Oh, I don't know. He wasn't really. I mean, he popped in and popped out.
Yeah, they didn't really
wasn't-
say much beyond he's here.
Yeah. I mean,
Didn't she say Andy brought a bunch of like Bravo execs with him or something?
Wow, look at this. Okay,
He does have the most.
He has more than Teresa, more than Aubrey. Gosh, and he hasn't really been in the limelight.
tweet him now. Tweet him now.
642,319 followers.
That's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, so he beat
That's
the
good.
two of them. So yeah, that's pretty
We're gonna have to
interesting.
make
though.
friends with him too.
Yeah.
Andy is hilarious. Do you guys ever watch his show? Watch What
Yes.
On occasion, and they're always talking
Hello.
about who's going to replace Kelly or join Kelly Ripa. I think because he would be a decent selection. I mean,
I think he might take over.
okay,
I think he is his own show.
right.
Yeah.
I don't see him being a really good. Not that he can't be a good co-host, but he is such a force. He is definitely a
Oh,
one
Him and
man.
Kelly Ripa almost, I feel like, have the same personality. They
would
would
be-
be like the same.
Yeah.
Carol Alt was the last one.
Oh, and
guest
also for the
appearances.
female team. So the guys had no celebrities that came by. Is that
That
is
was
that how it
well.
broke
The
down?
way they played it out was
they
like
told
I don't know
People
who
coming
was for
later
who,
out.
to be honest with you. I just thought people were making guest appearances.
No, I
No,
think
it
they
was
were
all
all
for the
female.
women.
Yeah.
It was all for the women. That's why they were playing up that angle so much because every time someone came through to buy a sandwich from the men, they were like, "Oh, I'll give you $15. I'll give you $10." Whereas they cut to the women and they were like, "I'll give you $20,000." And so they really, honestly, I will say this about.
I didn't think of it like that.
I will say this about the women. I like that the men won just because I like guys better. But
Fine.
You got to go to her
Feminists
website.
just love me. I love you guys because you're
She
not
chose
on
to
the
sit
show.
next to me.
Whatever.
But the women deserved to win. I feel like over the men because they did get individual donations way beyond what
I
the
know.
men got.
Okay,
so
but-
it was kind of like a cheap win.
But you guys, everybody said that they were holding back.
yeah,
Everybody said
And they were.
You convinced me that was the right idea. Originally, I'm thinking
you
no.
don't say it.
Yeah,
I
why
mean,
did you say that?
obviously,
They all
but
said it.
You want to have that in reserve for when you're the project manager, you can pull out your big guns.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want to waste your resources at the beginning of the show.
Right.
They all said it. The guys team and the girls team said it.
Yeah.
You
Which
know?
they shouldn't have because now they
No,
look like
they
the
shouldn't
bad
have.
guy.
But
They
the
don't
only
look
one
like a
that
team player.
really got reamed for it was Cheryl Tiegs. I was going to call her Carolla. Was
two-
Cheryl Tiegs.
Two
You know
more-
what I'm saying?
Two more
Well,
quick
she
things
didn't
before.
even say it though. She didn't say that I held back. Did she?
She didn't say much of anything on this show.
She did at the end. She
just
did.
we'll talk about her in the boardroom in a little bit. Two more quick
Cheryl.
things. One thing that I thought was interesting because we do got to get to a commercial, but there's still a lot to go. You know, first shows are always tough because you're
Let's
announcing
do it.
everybody.
Let's do it.
I thought it was cool the dance troupe. That was a very smart idea. That was on the guys' team.
What a strategy, man.
was
So
smart.
break that down. What had happened on that? What had happened?
so
was
the
ahead.
girls came to the men's carnival,
a dance troupe.
a dance troupe,
Mm-hmm.
and in order to get some TV exposure, they had
Clearly.
to pay $1,000. Was it $1,000 per
person.
person?
Yeah.
So there was
Those
5 girls.
Those girls were like, I don't have $1,000 to give, but that's good for them, and then they get their TV exposure.
Yes.
They
Donate to
the
a good
guys,
cause.
The guys get some money, donate to a good
Which
cause.
of the guys brought that in though? Who was the mastermind
I
behind? 'Cause
thought it was Penn.
thought it was
Penn
Another-
Jillette. I keep
an-
wanting to call him Penn and Teller because he
The
was talking
branding
about
got
his
you.
Carney, his Carney background, and then
Oh,
he's
my last
the-
name is Carney,
I
which is
know.
so hilarious.
And the dancers, the carnival, and so I thought he had brought him in because I think he did because then he was talking about how he
wanna say
told
he
them.
did. That's
I had
what-
told them they had to pay $1,000 each if they wanted to be
They
here.
should have given him more credit
So-
for that. No one really brought that back
He
up.
was good.
Yeah.
You know what I have to say? I know you guys were saying Adam Carolla stood out the most. I think Penn Jillette.
he did.
He was so consistent the entire show.
Yeah. I don't think Adam stood
know?
out in terms of his work. You know, I just think he stood out in terms of his personality and his jokes. But I think Penn definitely did really, really, really good work. And then I don't know who would be second to him because they all seem to kind of blend into one, the guys. Besides Paul, the manager.
I
Yeah,
just like that Paul was talking the talk and he made it happen.
Yeah.
I was completely
right,
shocked.
Yeah.
He sure was rough around the edges. He had something going on for George Takei also. I don't know why
Initially, yeah,
George rubbed him the wrong way. Not literally, but I don't. It's
always the right way.
Wow.
What did he call him? Star Trek? He was like, where's Star
Yeah,
Trek?
they were not.
Kept
That's
reaming
me.
on him.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
even in
what
the
he was a
boardroom,
star
too.
of Star Trek, really.
No, I know, but like, you don't have enough
Breaking
respect.
news from Kristen over
Well,
You
here.
don't
it's not
have
like
enough
insulting.
respect for the man to call him by his name.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true. Yeah.
They had to keep reminding him what his name was. They're like, it's George.
Right, yeah, that's true.
But I think, did you make the comment that George could probably see through him, his roughness and his?
I think that was
You're
a
the one
comment you thought, and I didn't. No one even said it, but
Oh, I thought somebody said
I don't
that.
think so. Wait,
It's
could
like,
see
you know,
what?
when you're, say, like you're an insecure person, and if you can sense that I'm picking up on your insecurity, I might not say anything to you, but you sense it, you're going to
Oh.
be a little, I'm going to get these little nips from you.
Isn't that what Cheryl said about
And
Teresa?
I
Who
don't-
said it?
Oh,
No,
somebody
wait,
did.
I don't know
Somebody
that.
did.
It was
Debbie.
Debbie Gibson said it about Teresa. She said,
Saying
I
I
think
don't-
she's actually really
I
insecure.
don't-
And vulnerable.
Saying I don't buy it. Yeah.
I'm glad she said that though, because I feel like a lot of Teresa's behavior on Housewives is out of insecurity.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad that she said that. So I'm like, yeah, Teresa.
We'll hop into the boardroom because God, the show was good as we just said, but the boardroom was even more exciting.
Yep.
But let's definitely do a commercial and try to get into the boardroom sooner than later. AfterBuzzTV.com. You are watching the Celebrity Apprentice after show.
AfterBuzz TV.
Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And, like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
That is the question. What do you want to buzz about? We buzz about every TV show, it seems like, at this point. A lot of... Hey! Isley Brothers are in the AfterBuzz studio. It's a good theme song. For it being a regular song, I kind of get into it.
I am so off.
The Donald definitely wins me. He I don't know.
I like him.
Would you do the regular Apprentice? Would you do it? Would you do the regular Apprentice? I didn't say would you do Donald.
I thought you said would you do Donald. It's like, maybe.
For how much?
No. Well, I mean,
oh, that's another thing. Where did I write that on?
That was a great song. Sorry.
Apprentice versus Celebrity Apprentice.
Well, they did one season recently while the Celebrity Apprentice has, I think it's in its fourth or fifth season. They did one, and the theme that they had to try to bring it back, like to have regular people on the show, was post-recession and, you picking up from that. But it just didn't rate well. The Celebrity Apprentice thing is something for the careers. Joan Rivers was not really heard of as much, and she really reinvented herself. Holly Robinson Pete, she's getting a lot of TV opportunity. I would say it was because of this. So this is like a Dancing with the Stars, maybe even more so. What do you guys think? Dancing with the Stars does a lot. This might be bigger.
Dancing.
You think Dancing with the Stars bigger?
Absolutely.
To push
I
a
do
career?
too, definitely.
Absolutely.
You don't think this does a lot for people?
Well, it does, but you asked her if it...
help, but
I'd love to see the rating. Well, I'd love to see the ratings on it, because when you mess with Donald, it's like such a big production, versus Dancing with the Stars. But I guess you're right on that. Boardroom. So, what do you guys think of the Boardroom, the very first one? Did you have any idea that the men or the women who was going to be the winner? Did you kind of call that out? I had no clue, really.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I didn't think that Paul Sr., that's his name, right? Paul Sr.? The chopper guy?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think
we
that
can't say
he
his
was
last
going to
name.
really bring in that much money. And you didn't see it. Like you said, the editing had me believing that the women were getting all this money.
Yeah.
I saw all the celebrities go in there.
Right.
They were getting the checks. Diana's like, oh, I just got $20,000.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, the women have it.
Well, and then the men got a little extra money because there was a challenge, not a challenge, but a selected two from each team. I think it was Lisa
Lampanelli.
Lisa Lampanelli. I did know her last
yeah.
name. I was trying to say who was the other girl that went with there.
And Gotti, Miss Gotti. What's her first name?
Victoria.
Victoria.
Yeah, they went to go to the Rachel Ray show along with Arsenio and Hall.
Arsenio? I'm going to get you on that one.
Adame
Arsenio.
Carolla.
Arsenio.
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 No, Arsenio.
Arsenio.
It's not a bad thing to say Arsenio.
It's Arsenio.
Arsenio.
But
Okay, that's good. That'll work.
you can do you.
You do, yeah.
Did you guys
Say
watch the show back
however
in the day?
you want. Well, it still doesn't change how it's said, but that's okay. It's oranges, or wait, no, what is it?
Apples and
Potato,
oranges.
potato,
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Whatever.
And no one
Tomato,
says
tomato.
potato.
A Hall.
Okay, so,
went with
and
A
Adam Carolla.
Yeah, and so the guys won. The guys. So basically,
Which-
yes.
How interesting. They were on Rachel Ray because Rachel Ray is out with a new show right now. I just thought it was perfect. Everyone's getting plugged tonight.
Wait,
Yeah.
what new show?
Rachel versus Guy on the Food Network. It's a brand new show out. I don't know how the ratings are doing.
Everything is so strategic.
But yes,
It's
it's
so
like her
strategic.
little 2 seconds right there, Rachel Ray.
Yeah.
That was good.
You could see in her face with the sandwiches when she did take a bite. I've seen her take a lot of bites of things.
Right.
She definitely liked the guy's sandwich just
You
in
could
her
tell.
reaction.
Oh, you guys
and it was
could?
like
The
she was searching.
the cheese,
Yes.
the portions.
She was searching when she took a bite of the woman's sandwich for something good to say.
see her
She
little
goes,
bite?
I like the texture of this bread. Like that was all she could come up with at first.
Did you see the big chunk of meat in it?
Yeah.
I think the ladies, they were trying to make a bigger
Yeah.
sandwich.
They overcompensated.
Sandwich.
And they probably didn't have enough like sauce,
Right.
to equal like the amount of meat or whatever. And I think guys, they know how to go for the food because it's like fattening and they're not worried about calories and whatever.
I think George was making them.
George. Oh, he was responsible for
He
that.
was. He was in
He
the
was.
back
He was
making
in the
all
back
the
making
sandwiches.
sandwiches.
Yeah, he was hustling for sure.
So he was probably right on. He's Asian discipline.
How funny! How funny was it though when they did that? It seemed like an infomercial when they were at Rachel Ray. Didn't
You
it?
did say that, yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like. Oh, and everyone applauses at the right, at the right time, and they're all wearing like those
Well,
old sweaters.
You know what went through my mind? How did those audience members get there? I didn't see that ad on Craigslist.
Yeah.
I want to be in her audience.
Well, and
NYC.
was it a real show? It might have been one of those
No,
things where you know.
I'm sure it was just for Apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there may have been a real show at some point, but okay. Anyway, we get in the boardroom, and Tia Carrera, however you say her name, says she basically good thing she didn't get voted off because she got the dumbest comment award.
I don't know what happened.
They were all crediting her, all complimenting her for the fact that she took a job that wasn't in the limelight, which, you know, and they wanted to credit her for doing a good job and being, low key. They were saying, good job.
Absolutely.
And they said, and Donald or one of the kids said, one of his children said, oh, well, what if you got asked to come back or something? And she voluntarily said, well, if I come back, it'll be fine, or it's okay.
Well,
but she was
Patricia was just, did she say, wait.
No, it just happened. I think Tia was being self-deprecating a little bit, and I think
isn't self-deprecating mostly with humor only? I mean, I guess you could be self-deprecating, just dumb. Self-deprecating dumb.
No, you can self-deprecate and not be funny.
No, she's
at
a sweet
all.
lady, so I shouldn't say that. But
no, you don't have to be funny self-deprecating.
Did she make
I do it
a
all the time.
mistake on that? I don't know.
No, I think she was trying to, kind of just be
came out
in
right.
conversation, like in passing, like, oh, if I did come back, I would be. She was trying to say she's confident enough to hold her own that she wouldn't go home, and it was a stupid comment, but it's something that I would say because I always put myself down when I shouldn't. Like right now, I'm gonna be like, that was so stupid. I shouldn't have talked about self-deprecation. So
you know what? The way you explained it was really good because now I'm getting it. It's like when people get compliments, although in Hollywood there's a lot of people who could take the compliment and love themselves, Aubrey and Debbie Gibson, but there's a lot of people that don't take a compliment well. They get very nervous, and they say things that are sort of goofy.
I think she was trying to be modest, but for whatever reason, the Donald doesn't like that.
Yeah.
And I've seen on past seasons, he always gets on people when they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So why would you do that?
Well, he called her out on it, which he should have.
She learned her lesson, I think.
Yeah.
He
did call
really
her out,
good at this.
but I think it was just a mistake. I think the words came out a little. I don't think she meant
nerves.
what she.
The Donald, the way he talks, with being so business and no nonsense is so why I'm not rich and successful and my family because we are we're self-deprecating, we're polite, we're sweet, we let shit go by without calling it out. And if my father was like him, I would be like a shark. I'd be like, look out people because I'm gonna take your jobs. But my dad owns a pizza place and he's like, hey, you want some subs and pizza? And it's just such a different mentality. So when I watch him, it makes me anxious because I've never been around people that are so brutally strong like that.
Wow.
Anyway,
interesting
bring in
take.
the room to
I
a
know.
halt.
I don't even know what to say. Well, Patricia has to nominate her two people who she would bring back, and she says, "I'd bring back Cheryl Tiegs, and I'd bring back Victoria Gotti." And so starts the Cheryl Tiegs attack because it is always. I hate to say it, but it's always a smart move for you to just jump on that bandwagon.
Yes.
Cheryl Tiegs.
And it says a lot about the social psychology about things. People gang up on people. The minute the tide turns, look out because people, they're not loyal, and but you have to in this situation. But you see how quickly it's like team goes against their own. All the dogs are fighting over a piece of meat, and then they turn in on each other when the meat's gone or something.
But I do have to say, Patricia remained very diplomatic. I mean, even though she did pick those two, they were
very
still
nice
both
about it.
Yeah, they were they were sweet. It. It's just interesting that no matter how sweet you are, you still have to kind of be you still have to be real.
Well,
she said something like, "It breaks my heart to say, but I'm gonna choose Cheryl."
Yeah, and
who says that? Who does?
Well, no, they all kind of do. They
mean?
all kind of do to a degree. They all say a good comment, and then they have to do I'm voting your.
And it's tough.
No one wants to pick, right?
But
it's so hard.
Nobody wants to pick.
And you do have to see each other at parties after the show's over.
I know.
He does.
He forces them, and I think that gives me anxiety when he forces them to choose.
Two of you have anxiety
Gosh,
when you watch
I
this show?
didn't get any anxiety on this show.
I want to watch next episode
I have a
already.
problem with anxiety.
Oh my gosh.
So cute. It's funny because the show that I watch, another reality show that I would watch it just for the the humor and the fun or whatever, but really Big Brother does have that element of the social game, and you see a lot of that too, where it is just for your best move to back up and let somebody take the bullet, and that is who Cheryl Tiegs was, unfortunately. And even when they did get into the deeper root of the conversation, she was like, maybe this isn't where I should be, and I gotta appreciate that honesty. That was real cool.
She didn't seem, her energy, it didn't seem like she fit.
Well, I'll get to the very end in a second, but let's do who Paul at least nominated. The guys evidently didn't go. He nominated George Takei.
George.
And
Trekkies out there.
Arsenio.
I feel like it's okay.
How do you
to
say it again?
Well, I said Arsenio. Is that bad?
But
Yeah,
why?
it's right.
Is it just because you want to say it like that?
I
Or
thought that. Well, let's see. When the show was on,
did you ever watch him
I
when
watched
they
it
announced
all the
him?
time.
Arsenio Hall. You know, like that?
They said Arsenio.
It's because you're Latino. That's why.
I mean, I just.
it's like got like a Latino.
Isn't that just
twang
natural to
it.
say Arsenio? What? How do you guys say it?
Arsenio.
Arsenio?
Arsenio.
Well,
I'm not gonna say it ever again after this, though.
I can't even get
Arsenio. We're all going to be calling him Arsenio.
Alina. I can't. So I'm already like messing up on names. I
Lord.
like easy names like Kimlai.
No, you never spell my name right.
But I pronounce it.
Oh my goodness.
So that's who Paul nominates, and very diplomatic. Sorry.
Adam,
And see, he was good,
Carolla
too.
had a great line
Yes.
about that.
Yeah.
He said, you know, Paul's forced to nominate two people, and he picks like the two minorities,
Yes.
which is like hilarious. That,
That
he
was
said that.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they both were good sports about it.
Yeah.
They're both cracking up.
That was
Why did he pick Arsenio? What was his
you have to
reasoning?
pick somebody. You
have
really
to
do.
pick. Right, and I mean, the Incredible Hulk. I mean, he's out there dancing around.
Yeah.
Other dudes burning
Penn,
fire.
yes.
Yeah.
And at this early in the stage, there's nothing personal yet. So you just
Right.
find, like if it was me and this was a regular apprentice or
George, only because there was
Kick
something
off
going on there.
Michael. His son's
Who?
not kick off Michael.
that would have been
Andretti.
that would have been another
You
route
know,
because you could say you could clearly
Marco
say
isn't even here.
You-
He's
Yeah, but there was
facing
a death.
trouble.
Yeah, that's like
that's
yeah.
a hard one.
Yes.
She makes a point, but that's you just
you know
I
what?
love your
Business people,
expression. They're like
business.
death.
I thought it,
I agree though.
I don't even know why he came. To be honest with you, he could
Yeah.
have just sat out this
they should
episode.
have had Jose Canseco come back. Yes, that would have been good.
Anyways, they could have just had one of the under just sit out.
And it never
for
went
the-
that far with the guys because the guys won, as we know. But I thought it was interesting because Paul, when you do send somebody or you nominate them or whatever, Donald does not let you relax about it. He makes you go why and beat up that person. So
But it's
Paul.
not-
I know it's
There's
not.
a reason.
I know it's not, but Paul had to kind of come at George Takei, and when he did, I think the whole room shifted and kind of backed up George. And this is when
Right.
Donald was like, "Well, you got to realize he's not weak, like he
Meek.
meek or whatever." And then this is George. Well, I don't have the exact quote, but he said, "I came from a barbed wire camp of some."
He
like
came from a really hard background.
that. He pushed the gay movement. Like there was just so much that the whole room was like, "Wow, George is actually stronger than you perceive." So that's what makes the show
But he
pretty
took it
interesting.
back.
Sweet.
He took it back.
Yeah. He
And
did.
I think
Well,
too
'cause they
that
won.
they butted heads so much. Well, more so. What's his name? What's his name again?
Paul.
Thank you. Jeez.
You're gonna have to DVR.
I think Paul butted heads with
Netflix.
him, so I just think there was a weird vibe. And then after the boardroom scene, he got to know him a little, and it was just like, oh.
I mean, at first impression, you could say the word meek innocently
just
because
quiet.
he's
'Cause he's
quiet,
quiet and
sweet
reserved.
and nice, and he seems like maybe he might be a pushover because if you said something to him, he probably wouldn't get angry. So you can see where he's coming from with the word meek. It's not like he
Yes.
called him like a really bad word. But then once you do step back and see his history, then you can say, okay, he's not meek. He's
Right.
just
And
quiet.
he did, which he did. And I thought that was
And
great.
you mentioned how he likes aggressive people. So maybe
Paul mentioned that.
yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe
it
that's
comes
why
from a
they were
bunch of-
crushing.
It's the classic case
Yeah,
of putting
he's-
two people from different worlds next to each
exactly.
other.
Have you
So
seen his show?
He's like with
No.
Harleys and
Oh,
choppers. and-
I'm surprised Adam Carolla and Clay Aiken aren't like as far as producing, like the producers like pushing them right next to each other. Not that Adam
not
Carolla has
yet.
not that
Not
Adam
yet.
Carolla has anything bad to say.
Exactly.
He
I
doesn't
know.
he doesn't
I
not
could
like
see
Clay
that.
Aiken, but he does make Clay Aiken jokes all the time. So that's obviously was an
We have
impact
some
in
pretty
casting.
interesting
It's a good,
episodes coming
it's a
up.
really good cast. So then, another little. This is back to the women before it gets down to the final three. One comment I just thought was really funny is Debbie Gibson again was talking about herself. I mean, she really should be the
What?
drinking game of the
Oh
season.
my goodness.
And she's talking about herself, and Donald says, "What does he say?" Oh, Debbie, no one cares, because she was talking about her singing.
Yeah, she said like my singing voice or something.
She found a way to. I mean, I give her.
Well, I think she misunderstood his question though as
No, she
well.
didn't.
But the editing, I
What
don't
was his
think she
question?
heard. Well, I don't know, but because she said though on there that she goes, "Oh, I misunderstood," but I didn't get the question. But she
Right.
did say that to her. We don't hate Debbie Gibson,
But
by
no
the
matter-
way.
We don't hate Aubrey
just-
O'Day
it's
either.
just
We
the no.
love Aubrey O'Day.
No, we don't.
Did you guys at least like Aubrey when she did bring up Diddy? Obviously, Diddy is,
No.
She
you
didn't
guys
even
don't
have
like
a
that?
comment.
You guys,
Yeah, I don't want to
didn't even
comment on
name
that.
drop.
No,
Name drop.
didn't even say
No, she
anything.
just said I've been doing, and then she's
I
been
think
doing.
Diddy has her blacklisted,
Well, that sort of is a thing too, but
personally.
I mean, but you don't think it was like a cool thing for when she was having to defend herself? She had to say, "Well, I have been in this business for a long time, not a long time, but
Donald
6 years."
said, "What do you think about him?"
What do you think about who?
Diddy,
Diddy.
P. Diddy, Sean, whatever his name is now.
Because I'm not sure that it ended out really, really
Well, she could have just said he's a great businessman, or
Absolutely.
he's nice,
She could have been a diplomat about it.
But you guys don't
he's
see
a great
you guys don't see
businessman,
any tenacity
successful.
with her, being that she because Diddy is a really
You know
tough
what,
person
Ronnie?
to
Go
work
get
for.
the Playboy magazine.
tenacity-
I have it already.
We'll go look at
The
it.
tenacity I like about her is picking Victoria, going against the grain and picking Victoria.
Well, when you talked about
Especially because Victoria is intimidating.
Yeah.
She intimidates
Oh,
me
Kimlai's-
on the screen.
Really?
Oh my
Kimlai's-
God. Yeah, heck
I agree with
yes.
Kimlai. I'm so tired of those. Not tired of them, but
Not
those
even 'cause
jokes
the mob
are so.
thing.
Oh, I
But
am
she-
sure
How
that woman
many?
is so tired.
We were
No,
tired.
not
jokes.
even about the mob.
Not the
but
jokes,
she's a
but
strong woman.
She is.
And
No,
she really
comes
is.
off.
Oh, so you commend Aubrey for at least jumping into that. Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody wanted to do that. And I did notice how she was on the phone. She showed up like, oh, my eye, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But she tore her cornea.
Well, Teresa, I was gonna say,
legit.
Victoria is a
Too
really.
legit to quit, man.
We should have Hammer on the show. Victoria was really good in the way she spoke. I mean, I felt like she commanded attention. She never let anyone get the best of her. So she was a.
Her shirt commanded attention. Oh my God. They were just like,
Her
"Woo."
hair.
Kim said her teeth, you know.
Yeah. Oh
Oh my gosh.
Huge.
Okay, remember George Washington and he had those wooden
Yeah,
teeth?
we were around when George Washington. was
Oh
around.
no! Remember in school, you
look
had to
at-
look at the bugs.
I'll look at my
they
dollar
said-
bill.
When I first saw her
not many
teeth,
20s
I
these
thought
days.
they looked like two wooden teeth, but they're so pretty. But I just wow, I couldn't. I kept staring at her
She's
mouth.
an
Yeah.
interesting character.
All right, let's get into wrapping it up.
whatever, Ronnie.
No, let's get into just the final three. The final
I'm
three,
kidding, I'm
and then
kidding.
how it all ended, and then we'll do some predictions of who we want to win. Obviously, I want Aubrey to do well, but I don't know.
Still?
Yes, I absolutely do, because I think there is a strong, ambitious person there who makes
You're probably
sort of
right.
dumb. I
no,
could tell
I'm
by the
being
tone of your.
serious.
I see strong,
Just a
ambitious, but I
little
don't see
train that could,
person.
Little train that could. Everyone needs that.
Well, and yeah, as you said, the show's very interesting. You don't know who gets project manager.
Right.
You don't know the social game aspect.
It is hard to figure out who's
Some
like today. We were all trying to pick a person to.
It's so difficult.
who do
on
we
this
want
show.
to be kicked off tonight? But
Yeah.
it's like you don't know really.
And they make one comment and they catch a brick. Like it's just like, why? Oh, if you would have not said that, or you know, you just put yourself out there. I mean, not that you're supposed to fly under the radar, but there's a certain way to play the game. Oh, some people play it over the radar. I thought Teresa was gonna play it that way, because 2 seconds in, she's saying Italian this. And,
I'm gonna win.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she did.
Lord.
She did too much. Oh, under the radar, which is a surprise maybe for you and I, who really like. I mean, you probably more love Lisa Lampanelli. Boy, she played it under the radar really, really good. You would have not have expected the roaster
She's
of all.
nice.
She was
She's
not.
Well, like
So
she said,
nice.
the meaner you are on stage, the nicer you have to be.
Makes
And
sense.
I'm a comedian. I do stand up, and I kind of have to because I have really mean jokes.
What's
so
what's the
Really?
quote? The meaner what?
She said the meaner you are on stage,
You
the
can make
nicer
a
you have to
joke,
be
you can
off
add
stage.
me to your list.
You've already been on it. You're old news.
No, you're fired.
I hope. All right, that music is intense. So who gets fired?
Are you anxious? Are you anxious?
No, I'm excited.
Me neither.
Cheryl got ripped. She got ripped, and she even said, "This is
did.
not the platform for me, and maybe I should go." And that's essentially.
Goodbye, Cheryl. She's boring. I want good TV.
It is
I
sad.
know it's
probably,
mean.
She
She was
probably
very nice.
succumbed to like kind of feeling picked on. You know, she doesn't seem. She kind of seemed like my
Gosh.
mom. Where my mom, like I said, we're not very strong people. We're
You're
very
strong.
We cry a
I
lot.
know, right?
We cry in circles. We
You
cry
can
together.
still be strong and cry.
But she seemed, you know, just kind of like, oh God, I don't want to have people ripping on me. Yeah, this isn't for me.
Right.
Goodbye. You know, I think
And you
that's
don't have
kinda
to
how
be
she got.
successful and be like that either. But those girls, I mean, obviously what'd she say? She's opened up
opened like 12
businesses, and she's
Yeah.
an extremely successful supermodel from back in the day.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, too, it's also because there could be somebody who has the same persona as hers, you know, very, like you said, maybe a little meeker. There goes that word again. But maybe if it was somebody who was more relevant, God, I hate to use that word, but more in the media these days, maybe Donald
good.
and the producers would give a reason for her to stay. But you're meek, and you are from yesteryear. And I mean, there's just so
Yeah.
many things going against you. And you
Right.
said, I think I'm ready to go, too.
Yes.
It's like,
Right.
you give
That's not her fight to fight. She's
Yeah.
just not.
She wasn't into it.
Why,
the
would
only-
why would they bring
That's
her on in
okay.
the first place? That's a weird
because
casting
it is,
to me.
no, it's 18.
Really?
You have to do, why? Yeah.
Why? I mean, because she is so yesteryear. You know, like you
gotta
said, a lot of
represent
these people
everybody,
have.
though.
Not really, though. You don't have to. There's no like law saying you have to.
There isn't. It's not illegal. You're right. Comedian.
I think their strategy. I mean, obviously,
I could just see
everyone's
someone.
brought
I could
on-
just see someone a little bit more relevant, like Kathy Griffin. I know they have a lot of comedians. I'm not saying her necessarily, but you know, she's working. She's funny. She's got like an angle. She's kind of annoying. She's interesting to look at because she's different looking. You know, like there's a lot. This lady just is just seems very much not relevant. That's all.
But do
and
you think it
can't-
might have attracted some viewers that she had a
Yes.
fan base on many years ago? I mean, she was a supermodel. She was one of the top 5 when that whole term supermodel came out. She was one of them, and then that phrase has been coined ever since. She was one of the original ones.
Yeah, it doesn't excite me really. They
Might
have a lot of
not
models.
you, but I mean, it might have brought with it.
I am the
another-
most important person demographic in the world.
Well, that's why I think that comment is so stupid about, oh, Dancing with the Stars, none of them are stars. It's like, well, yeah, you don't know 8 of them because, well, it's fine. I mean, I get that there should be a higher ranking, you know, A-list, you know, but it's not going to happen.
Listen,
What about-
George Clooney doesn't need to do these
No,
shows.
I get it, but my
we
point-
got-
What about George Clooney?
he doesn't need to do these shows,
Yeah.
so
we need him to do these shows.
I
Well,
wish.
anyways, Cheryl was gone. It was fine. She's not offended by it or whatever, which
No, I
just
think that's nice too that she left
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, but
which
let me
which
just
means
say
it
this.
was,
I think
go
that
ahead.
Let me just
it
say this
made
as
a good,
well about
smooth first one out.
just about her being casted. She, regardless if maybe she does have a fan base, she's very, 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 very quiet and uninteresting in terms of her delivery and on camera. You know, it's just boring. And
Well,
you know,
she said she likes what's her name for good reality TV. So there's that element. There's so
that's
many.
why I like Teresa. I want to see her go.
Yeah, just
I'm
so
sorry. So how come you
entertaining.
can't
She's
get
just
in?
not entertaining,
How
that
come you
woman.
can't get into Aubrey if she's reality TV wreck too?
Oh my goodness!
I didn't say I don't want to see Aubrey on this.
All right, yeah.
I want to see her on the show.
Real quick, we'll wrap it up because obviously Cheryl is gone. We know that. Is there somebody that that isn't represented in the casting? Because there's 18 people, and I mean, is there somebody else you guys would have thought would have been a great cast member? Or I mean, they pretty much grab everyone. I don't know that they have too
a
many
lot of people
sporting.
were quiet.
They don't
I
have
mean-
sporting players. They don't have country music
I want
stars.
someone from Saved by the Bell.
No country.
would be
I want
good.
Zach from Saved by the Bell.
That would be good, yeah.
No country music stars this round.
And that's such a big. I mean, didn't what's his name won last year?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Rich from Big
yeah.
and Rich,
I thought that was interesting.
or was it Big?
Lisa Lampanelli made the black woman joke, so I kind of thought, God, it would have been nice to have a black woman on the show. So I mean, but 18 people, it's hard to
They
get.
have 2 Latinas. They have 2 Asians, white people.
What more do you need?
I told you were good at
One
your
black
stats.
guy.
They've got a black.
All right, let's hit predictions of
black
who we
guy.
like and who we want to win on Celebrity Apprentice.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Would you like to lead off your favorites to win? It's a very tough choice because
I like Arsenio Hall. I think he's hilarious, and I want to see him do well. I like Teresa. She's entertaining and dramatic, and I want to see her and Victoria clash or either bond.
Ooh, that'll be a
Which
good
one?
one.
Which one?
Those
Her,
are 2
Teresa
very
and
strong.
Victoria.
The 2 Italians.
Whenever I
Yeah.
see two people
2
like
Italians.
whenever I see
two,
two
two,
people, when I see two people like that, my mind instantly is like they're either going to get along really well or they're
Exactly.
going to. And do we know at all how they're feeling? The only comment that
Not yet.
Victoria made was, "Okay, she made this name, but we're the only Italian ones, so we're the only ones who are going to get it. We're going to
Yeah, that wasn't
represent it."
even.
But it wasn't a bad comment, but I'm
No,
thinking maybe
it was-
that could be the beginning of
Teresa's in her own world. Like, she doesn't get that no one cares that
I'll
she's
say.
Italian. I'm Italian. I don't care that she's Italian,
out of all the housewives, why did they cast her? Housewives shows $1 billion empire, ain't it? I mean,
she's
why?
one of the
She
more
was
popular
good.
ones.
Right. She was good. She
The
just
table.
got a little bit crazy.
Oh, I would rather
as it
see
went on.
that Bethany. But Bethany started from Apprentice, didn't she? She started from
Bethany
the
was
Martha
on Martha Stewart
Apprentice.
And Bethany doesn't need to do
She's
Apprentice.
above
She
it,
has
yeah.
her own
Skinny
show.
girl. Yeah.
Skinny girl.
Well, now she's got
she's
that
fine.
reality, that married.
Yeah,
Unless I watched
yeah,
an
their
episode from
baby.
10 years ago today. Yeah, she got married. She
Yeah.
been married for a while.
I think it's been like a year because I know they were doing the year anniversary.
Who do you see as a good? It's a tough show to call, but
Well, I guess it's predictable for me to say Adam Carolla, but I just, I think comedian. I think awesome. That would be awesome to, represent. Also, though, I'm Catholic and I'm not huge crazy religious person at all. However, the Catholics have really not. The church is losing a lot of money, and Adam's representing the Catholic Brothers, charity. So I think it would be a good opportunity for the Catholic Church to maybe get a little more money, even though I know they've stolen it all to do bad things for boys and stuff.
Oh my
You know what?
my God.
But you know what I mean?
The
Catholic
views
we are
from
not going
Kristen
to get
is-
retweeted by the Catholic Church.
I thought you
They don't
liked.
have a big following anymore, so don't worry about it. No, but
We're not getting retweeted at all
The
tonight,
Catholic
you
Big
guys.
Brothers.
Yeah,
We've
they
insulted assaulted
I
everybody.
like Adam representing the Catholics because the Catholics have been really like swept under the rug lately and been like, oh, you're all bad people and whatever.
Yeah.
So I like if, you know, to give them a little bit of attention. And of course,
Positive
I love
attention.
Adam. Yeah.
I liked who I liked going into the show, but I liked Penn after watching. And that's not to say we haven't seen his work.
Penn is smart.
He's very interesting, but he was able to be commanding, command attention, and also fly under the radar to a degree. Like he did it really well.
He's a good team player.
Penn.
Yeah.
I thought Penn did well. I would love just on because it's tough to call the show because you're like, oh, who do you want to see reality
And so
TV
many people
wise?
didn't come out though
Yeah,
tonight.
because I would love to see more
Arsenio,
Aubrey. I'd love
Clay.
to. Oh yeah, I think Arsenio. We have tons of Arsenio to see. And I guess Aubrey she'll be voted out real soon. That's my opinion. Kimlai, what do you think?
I think it's too. I really don't have an opinion. I do want to see more of Lou, and I want to see more of Arsenio and Lisa and Dee Snider. We hardly saw anything
We saw nothing.
of Dee Snider tonight.
This is the first time his name came up with us tonight.
Right. Clay Aiken. I mean, and I want to see Michael Andretti when he comes back. So
Yeah.
I can't.
I
have no
it's
idea.
Marco's the son. Or is it Michael?
Oh, he's the
We'll
one that's
find out
supposed to be there.
that stat for next week. Also, next week we will be joined by the show's host for Celebrity Apprentice as far as our AfterBuzz series, AJ Jolivet, who covered the AfterBuzz Celebrity Apprentice last season, and then all of us, I believe, will be back too.
Yes.
So that'll be really fun. It's a great show to watch. Going down the road, Twitter handles. Do you have one yourself?
Dream Chic Blog.
All right, we'll follow you today.
Blog. BLOG.
Can't wait to see the blog. There you go.
I am at Kimlai Yingling and Facebook.com/Kimlai Yingling.
All right.
And you guys can find me tweeting very rarely lately at twitter.com, remember that part, / Kristen Carney, KristenCarney.
And mine is at Ronnie Jr Media. And of course, you can follow us at AfterBuzz TV, which is the @ in AfterBuzz TV. It's important to do so because this show has a lot of buzz, I will say.
Yes.
And make sure you tweet us out, Facebook us, everything like that. Show us love on iTunes because I think idealistically it'd be great to get a connection with Adam Carolla, who is the leader of the podcast world, and I feel like we're right there too. So tell a friend, as Phil always says, and one big congratulations and clap it up for Phil in the booth working hard.
Whoa, Phil!
It's actually a lot of work, so you're doing your thing, brother. Okay, cool. So we'll be back next week. Did you guys have fun?
I had fun, yeah.
All right.
What about you guys? What about
Tons
you
of
guys?
fun. Tons
Loved
of
it.
fun. I can't even stay composed right now. Oh my
All
God.
right, we'll tweet and we'll buzz you later.
Kristen likes girls now.
Celebrity Apprentice AfterBuzz. Goodbye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.